Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to another guided meditation. If you're joining me here through Clubhouse or whether you're joining me through my live stream on my channel, my Vimeo's page, welcome. So, thank you all for being here this week of the solstice, which is tomorrow. Today, I was asked if I could return to one of the meditations that I've done in the past from the 17th Karmapa, I believe. It was Tonglen Meditation. Tonglen Meditation is about giving and receiving. Basically, the process in Tonglen is to breathe in the suffering of another and then to breathe out compassion. Now, there are many people who lead Tonglen meditations, and sometimes the question is, well, am I breathing it in and taking in their suffering? I don't want to get sick myself. And that's not the purpose of the way I lead this or the way we do Tonglen meditation. It's about recognizing from the very onset that all people everywhere want the same things. We all go about them in different ways. We may go about those in ways that can be damaging or hurtful to other beings. But in the essence of it all, we want to be safe. We want to feel secure. We want to know that we're okay, healthy, at peace. And with that process of wanting to feel safe, many times we mobilize really quickly. We act really quickly. A loved one, a partner, a friend, a colleague could say something and we just snip right back. And we really don't take the time to listen. Now, we can defend ourselves. We can say, well, I responded really quickly. I attacked back. I bit back because I was hurt. I was unsafe. And we fail to see that the reason the other person acted the exact same way we did because they did not feel safe. Many times we're ready to justify our own actions. Well, I'm not feeling comfortable right now. I don't feel safe. I can't believe they said this to me. But we're not taking the time to look at the fact that the other person wanted to feel the same way. And we don't have to agree with them. We don't have to agree with their politics or their beliefs. But at the core, we do want them to feel safe because when they are safe, when others are safe, when we feel safe, we actually can engage with others and listen. So there's many meditations around this in several traditions, any religious tradition. And we're going to do a guided visualization in the Tonglen tradition. Now, as I said, Tonglen is called giving and receiving. So let me explain the processes first. I'm going to invite you to imagine someone you care about deeply, someone that you know and for whom you feel a strong affinity. Now, this could be an animal, a pet. It could be someone that you're very close to or someone you admire. And I want you to think and call to mind a way they might be suffering. It could be with a physical pain, a diagnosis, a heartache, distress in life. Now, that's the set. We're going to start with thinking of them, but let's do some other groundwork right now. I'm going to invite us all to find a comfortable position. It is recommended that this is done seated. If you need to lie down, feel free to do so, but we don't want to encourage sleep. As you sit here, very first thing here, giving and receiving, feel yourself on the surface on which you're resting. Whether it is a chair, the floor, a cushion. And feel yourself take seat. Feel your spine elongate. Feel your shoulders drop away from your ears. And just scanning the body, finding any tension that you're using to hold yourself up, and see if you can just allow it to dissolve so that you're upright and steadfast as a mountain, but spacious and open like the ocean. Now, this is our first exchange. As we breathe in, recognize you're breathing in the air, the oxygen, all the nutrients from all the plants. We're taking in all of the nourishment from the plant kingdom. And as we're breathing that out, we're breathing out the carbon dioxide to feed the plant kingdom. And this is just our first little attempt at Tonglen as we breathe in, recognizing that you're breathing in the nourishment of the plant kingdom. As you breathe out, you're breathing out the support for the plant kingdom. The lungs are the wings of the heart. So in your mind's eye, as you're breathing in and out, just allow your attention, your mind, your visualization to settle into your heart. You can always place a hand on the heart if that works for you. That heart, that muscle that's continuing to beat every day, keeping you alive. It might be tired. It might be having some of its own suffering of grief and loss. But it's still beating. So breathing in some gratitude to the heart. Now, in your mind's eye, envision in the center of your heart the most precious, beautiful jewel you can imagine. For many people, that's a diamond, but use whatever jewel works best for you. See this brilliant, shining, glimmering object. This is the jewel in your heart, and it's resting in a lotus right in the center of your heart. The lotus flower that blossoms out of the mud, out of dirty water. So no matter what the suffering is, there's a vibrant jewel. And that's your compassion, that's your love. That's your ability to transform suffering into compassion. So take a few more breaths here, breathing into that jewel in the lotus, in that heart that continues to beat. Now that loved one, visualize them 10, 15 feet in front of you. That person you care deeply for. And call to mind their particular suffering, how they might not feel safe or healthy or at ease or at peace. Might be suffering some pain, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. Now we're going to do the dance that we did with the trees. In your mind's eye, as they breathe out, imagine them breathing out their pain, their suffering, and it looks like black or gray smoke being exhaled from their nostrils. And now you breathe in that smoke. You inhale and breathe that smoke down, but it goes to the heart, to the jewel in the lotus. As that smoke touches that precious jewel, it transforms it to white or golden rays of loving compassion, and you breathe it back out to the individual. So in your mind's eye and in your breath and in your body, it's this beautiful, gentle dance. They breathe out their pain, their suffering. We breathe it in through our nose and it comes down to our heart. We transform it with the jewel in our lotus. And we breathe out golden white rays of love and compassion. Typically, they breathe that back in to their heart, to their body. Sometimes I envision, as I breathe out, it envelops them in this beautiful golden white light, massaging, caressing away their suffering, their pain. Now, there's many, many steps to this visualization. And if you get lost, start by breathing in the air from the trees, the plant kingdom. Breathing out your healing to the plant kingdom. Bringing your attention and focus towards your heart, and just imagine from all the pain and suffering you've had in your life, beautiful lotus is opening in the center of your heart with a beautiful, brilliant jewel. Full of love and compassion, the transformative quality of love and compassion. And now we add others. Add that person you love and appreciate who might be suffering. Breathe in their suffering, gray wisps of smoke as they exhale. It travels down to your heart, to that jewel, and immediately touches it and transforms it to golden, white rays of love and compassion. And send that back out. And let's just rest here for a moment, abiding in this exchange. Don't worry about your breath. Thoughts come up, am I doing it right? Breathe in that smoke of yourself, that doubt, that worry, that becomes suffering. Breathe that in and transform that. Send that back out to you. And that takes us to this next part where we begin to think of the ways in which others might be suffering. So that's a benefactor, that's someone we really love. Begin to bring someone else into the fold. Someone who you actually know is suffering of body, mind, spirit, economically, politically. standing next to the first person, imagine their suffering, and as these gentle beings exhale, breathe that in. Not to take it on, not to hold it, not because you deserve to hold the burden, but to transform it. And as we develop a gentle rhythm here of breathing in the suffering, breathing out compassion, we may find that our body might soften, the breath might deepen a bit, it might settle into a pleasing rhythm. If any time you get lost, if any time your mind starts to wander, and as people have said to me, maybe no one who's doing this with me right now, but people in the past have said, but that person did this to me. That person said this. Let's remember. A person did it because of their conditioned response. We don't have to agree with their beliefs, their politics, but we can connect with their humanity, their suffering. This becomes a little bit tricky here. I invite you to call to mind someone with whom you might be struggling. It could be a colleague, an employer, a family member. Let's not go to 10 out of 10 struggle here. Someone with whom you get irritated by, reactive to. And now, imagine the two of you facing each other. See this in your mind's eye, 15 feet in front of you. And perhaps you can even rewind the tape and you can watch the bickering that will ensue, the justification, the posturing, the comment, the comment, the comment, the comment. Imagine, if you will, both of you exhaling your suffering. And let's remember, when we justify, it's a defense technique. Every time we justify, we're trying to win someone over. We're trying to sway them and ourselves. Explanation is different. Explanation is just saying what is. This is what happened. Seeing both of you and your person of challenge. You're both suffering. Breathe in that suffering. See the gray smoke. Breathe it in. Don't hold on to it. Send it down to your heart. The minute it touches that jewel in the lotus of the blossoming heart, it transforms to golden rays. of love, of appreciation, of kindness. Allow that to envelop both of you. Note when you brace. Note if your body begins to constrict and tighten. Notice if you start to hold your breath. Notice the thought that corresponds with that. When we start to tighten the body, we start to tighten the breath. We often are tightening our thoughts. Breathe in the suffering. Breathing out love and compassion. As we rest here thinking about this dyad, remember, in no way are we saying you have to agree to be in the same place with them, agree to invite them back into your home. But how might the interaction be different? Just even for you, when you connect to the suffering and the humanity. How might we listen both to others and ourselves? So let's turn our eye even a little bit further towards ourselves. In what ways are we suffering right now? Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Environmentally and politically, let's not forget all those factors. In what ways do you not feel safe, secure, and healthy? In what ways do you find yourself engaged in defense mechanisms around other people? Justification, minimization. We're not feeling safe. In your mind's eye, see yourself standing before you. Breathe in your own suffering. Listen to it. Breathe it in. Allow it to touch the jewel in our lotus heart. And send yourself some compassion and love. This is not condemning or condoning whatever way you're suffering. It's not giving you a free pass to continue to act the way you have. It's to be compassionate to ourselves And through that compassion, growth can happen. And before we end this practice today, I invite us to take a moment to think, what would our day be like? What would our interactions with ourselves and others be when we begin to connect with the suffering, the lack of security, of safety, to begin to see other people's behaviors not as an attack against ourselves, even when they say they're directed at us. What will it be like when we are around others who are suffering that we love and care about and feel helpless? What will it be like when we bring these practices to those experiences? Take a moment just to sit in this dignified, steady as a mountain, but open as an ocean posture. Breathe in the suffering, not take it on, transform it. And breathe out love and appreciation. Compassion. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take a few moments here to just allow the breath to deepen consciously. Begin to move fingers and toes. And slowly come back into the day, remembering love and compassion. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be at peace. And may all beings go gently, knowing their goodness. I will be here on Thursday at 8 o'clock, if you care to join me then. And as always, I love hearing feedback of how you found this meditation today. You can reach me at my website, thebreathspace.com. On the meditation page, I do store some of these as a video library, so if you ever want to go back. Thank you all.